Rare items re-released, a potential new rec center, and unlimited colors are coming. Hello everybody, I'm BillehBawb from BVR, and welcome back to Rec Room Roundup, where we go over the latest in Rec Room news and updates. And yeah, you've probably already noticed, but we have a brand new set to add to the rotation. This one was made by my friend Peanut, and I'm sure I don't need to tell you that it looks friggin' adorable. You're probably wondering, BVR, why are you using a fall-themed set in the middle of summer? Hey, look, this place is pretty. I didn't want to wait 3 friggin' months to use it, okay? So first up, let's talk about the updates that have released since last episode. A lot of these additions fall under the banner of Combat V2, which allows creators to make better custom PvP games. For example, this is the gun handle. It's kind of like the trigger handle, except it keeps track of ammo. You can aim down sights on screen mode. It also is kind of an auto-aim feature on screen mode. There's a reload button. You can add camera shake and knockback. Creators also now have full access to changing the HUD elements on a player's screen, like the timer, the laser tag score things, and the health bar. There's a lot of other stuff as well. In fact, this last update was a pretty big one for Circuits V2. The patch notes were super long, but the main focus was still Combat V2, so hopefully now PvP rooms won't have to rely on Rec Room original weapons and the game chip and all that. Also in this last update, they added the new screen mode controls that I talked about in the last Rec Room Roundup. I already talked about it before, but as a quick recap, these new controls are basically just meant to make it less complex and make Rec Room control more like a standard first-person game. Honestly, depending on the platform you're on, the change isn't too noticeable, but I heard that some platforms like mobile got some pretty big changes. Luckily for those who don't like the new controls, you can still switch back to the old ones in your watch. I don't really have an opinion on these controls because I don't really play on screen mode that often, but for those of you who do primarily play on screen mode, then let me know what you think of them in the comments. And that's pretty much it for updates. This time it was more just these big things than a bunch of scattered small stuff like usual. So next up, let's talk about the juicy stuff, the new events, and the brand new Rec Room original, maybe Rec Center stuff coming to the game. First up is the Rec Room Creator Conference, which is another official event kind of like the Arts Festival or RecCon. It's a one-day event where creators in Rec Room come together to have panels and talks and stuff about all things creation in Rec Room, including circuits and art and all that stuff. Also, all people who attend the Creator Conference will get this exclusive hoodie, which I think looks pretty cool. If any of this sounds interesting to you, then I've got good news, because on the day I'm posting this video is actually the day the Creator Conference is happening. So what are you doing here? Go to the... finish the video first, but then you can go to the thing, you know, but finish the video first. Thank you. Next up is some of the most interesting clues we've got in a while, which is probably leading up to a new Rec Center. As I'm sure most of you know, in the past, they've used the Rec Center to tease new Rec Room original stuff. For example, before Rec Rally was revealed, they had some buggy sounds playing outside of one of the windows, and recently a kind of similar thing has happened where train sounds have been heard outside of one of the windows. Originally, people thought this might mean a new quest themed around the Wild West or something, but staff pretty quickly confirmed that it was not a new quest, which really sucks because quests are kind of the best part of Rec Room. Like, they're super fun and cool, but it's been 4 years since we got the last one. Like, come on guys, Crescendo is cool and all, but it's about time we get a new quest. Anyways, eventually some more clues popped up in the Rec Center, and this time it was a bunch of construction stuff in the basketball area. Now, I don't know about you all, but this basically confirms to me that they're doing a majorly updated or entirely new Rec Center. Wait, okay, stop. Everybody freeze. I recorded that footage like 2 days ago, and I was pretty certain it was going to be a Rec Center expansion, but since then we have some new clues, so let's look at those. The main thing is that the mobile app icon for Rec Room has changed, and you can now see this Wild West setting in the background. Usually this wouldn't mean too much because these environments they put in backgrounds of stuff are usually created with the Maker Pen. However, if you look at the left of this image, you can see this cactus standee, which is clearly a Rec Room original prop. And if you look at the rest of the scene, you can kind of see it doesn't really look like it was made with the Maker Pen either, meaning that this is probably our first look at the new Rec Room original content. Along with this, we've also been getting some Western themed items in the shop recently, such as these horseshoe earrings. So the combination of the train sound effects in the Rec Center, this Wild West background for the new mobile icon, and the Western themed shop items definitely makes me think this is no longer a Rec Center expansion. So then of course that leaves the question of what it actually is. The most common guess is that it's a new map they're going back and adding to a past Rec Room original, so like a new paintball map or a new Rec Rally track. They have said in the past before that they like making new Rec Room originals instead of going back and updating old ones, but I think that was mostly talking about mechanical changes and not really new maps, and also they just changed their mind a lot, and that was months ago, so it definitely could be a new paintball map, but also, yeah, it could just be some new Rec Room original that's Western themed that isn't a quest, so like nobody knows how it even plays or what it is yet. It could also maybe just be a Western themed event that they're making some new Rec Room original content for. Honestly, I have no no idea. So if you're as confused as I am and you want to know what this is right when it comes out, then make sure to subscribe and I'll keep you all updated with more episodes of Rec Room Roundup. If they're at the point they're changing the mobile app icon to have this stuff in it already, it could honestly be revealed any day now. And there's a very real possibility that this video is outdated like on the day it's released because they reveal whatever this is on the same day I post this video. So sorry in advance if that happens. This is all happening very quickly and I'm doing my best to keep up. So we can go back to the old footage now. While we're at it, let's talk about more stuff that's happened in the rec center. In late June, people spotted some mysterious messages in the Rec Room store where they usually aren't, like on these pictures and in item descriptions. These messages talk about some mysterious character named S and how he was gonna return soon. And in the Rec Room lore, S seems to be some hacker that brings in shop items that are really cheap or rare. So sure enough, on July 1st, a new store popped up hidden in the rec center with a bunch of items in it that hadn't been re-released in years. This includes the original release of the skeleton set, as well as the bee set from the zombie versus bees event that happened a few years back. Basically, all of these old items were just put out for a few days so that new players had a chance to get them too. This sounds fun and all, but it actually started up quite a bit of controversy about whether Rec Room should be re-releasing these old items in the first place. Like with the bee set specifically, it was said in the past that it was never going to be re-released, and then it did, and now it's not rare anymore. At the end of the day, it is just virtual cosmetics, so it really doesn't matter that much. I'm of the opinion this was kind of cash grabby just so that people would buy tokens so they could get these items while they were re-released. And I don't really think it's great they went back on their word about re-releasing these items just for a cash grab, but you know, I'm not gonna throw a fit about it. Next, let's talk about the creative Q&A where a bunch of cool new upcoming stuff was discussed. First up is a system for new colors, which is really exciting for builders because it's basically going to be adding every single color into Rec Room. Right now, when building, we only really have access to about 62 colors that Rec Room has picked and put in the palette, but this new update's going to be adding a color picker that lets us pick basically any color that exists, kind of like a color wheel. I think that not being restricted to Rec Room's palette is going to help builders create a lot more stuff that doesn't look like Rec Room, and we're going to start seeing a lot of really cool builds that play around with color a lot more. Next up, they talked about object model, which is really hard to explain to creators, let alone people who don't even build in Rec Room, so I'm not going to get into it too much, but object model is kind of just an umbrella term for a bunch of new features that make building in Rec Room way easier. You'll be able to nest more objects inside each other, and you won't have to use clamps for parenting stuff anymore. It's a really big update to creating that they've been working on for a long time now that's going to change how creation works in Rec Room entirely. So even if you don't get what it is, you should probably still look forward to object model because it's going to advance building in Rec Room a ton. Next up, they recently released this absolutely gorgeous new Maker Pen skin and the guidelines on how to obtain it. This Maker Pen skin is exclusively available to creators that are in stuff like creative clubs or building groups. It's kind of confusing right now, but basically creative clubs have to apply to be able to have access to give this Maker Pen skin to their members. For a creative club to qualify, it's got to do some stuff like make rooms, teach classes, or make social media posts and stuff like that. Then the creative club has to keep up these requirements for 3 months after applying, and if they do that, then finally the creators in that club will have access to this Maker Pen skin. So yeah, it's kind of confusing and hard to get, and you probably won't see it popping up for a while, but hey, it looks really cool. Next up, recently there was a small update to RecNet that allows you to buy Rec Room Plus from the website. This isn't anything too special because a while back they also added ways for you to buy tokens from RecNet. However, now if you buy Rec Room Plus from RecNet, they also have options for yearly plans instead of just the monthly plan that you can get in game. If you buy the yearly plan, then you save around $15 a year, so if you're someone who already buys Rec Room Plus every single month, then it's probably worth getting this. And hey, if you are about to go buy Rec Room Plus, then before you do, in-game, use code BVRR. It's free for you and it helps me out a ton because I get a 10% kickback of any purchase you make of tokens or Rec Room Plus. So yeah, thanks for the support. Here's this week's weekly rotation of items. Hey look, the skin is another caution skin. Surely people won't be mad about that one. That's it for the news. If you want to see a video where I talk about my entire building career in Rec Room, then click here. But otherwise, thanks for watching and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.